Outbound is out now, and it's just not the game that people were expecting. I really tried to like this game, but I'm sorry, I just don't. Yet. Among many things, it's painfully slow. And before I say any more, I will just say this. My review of Outbound is literally just my opinion based on my experience with the game. So if you've been playing Outbound and enjoying it, then all the power to you. And if you're in two minds about whether this game might be for you, then fortunately, this game is widely available enough for you to play it. The full game is out right now on all consoles, as well as being on Xbox Game Pass, which is how I'm playing it. And there is still a free demo on Steam for you to try the game out for yourself, which I would highly suggest that you do before passing judgment. And what's more, the developers have just dropped their roadmap for updates, patches and improvements, which has got me very excited. But for now, first let's talk about what Outbound is currently. Developed by Squareglade Games, Outbound is a cozy base building exploration simulator game where you and up to 3 friends will take a camper van across the vast nature reserve. On your journey, you'll be sourcing materials to use for crafting. When you first begin, these will be things such as small wooden logs and stones, which you can then take to your crafting table in the back of your van and make yourself a handy little axe to chop down larger logs for more wood. Pretty good so far, although I did struggle with the crafting minigame, though I'll concede that this is more of a skill issue with me than it is the fault of Outbound itself. It's a tried and tested cozy simulator game mechanic which, when done right, will lead to hours and hours of relaxing gameplay. A bit of grind followed by a small reward to elevate the experience. And everything started off rather hopeful, but the way in which you obtain further upgrades did leave me rather confused. To get the blueprints for upgrades such as tools, equipment, vehicle expansions, appliances and furniture, you will need to bring a download voucher to one of these signal towers where you get the option of 3. Once you choose one, the tower is then temporarily decommissioned, and you'll be unable to download the other 2 options until you've explored the park a bit more, which isn't great if you're required to use something that you've passed up earlier. In fact, it can be really frustrating when your camper van won't drive up a steep hill because you didn't know that you had to upgrade the motor to do so. And while I do love the mechanic of being rewarded with vouchers for cleaning up litter and then using your recycling machine to process the vouchers, as this is perfectly in keeping with Outbound's theme of reconnecting with nature and protecting and cherishing the environment around us. The fact that we do this by going to these huge man-made signal towers is absolutely jarring and not in keeping with what this game is supposed to be about. Personally, if these signal towers were replaced with dedicated recycling centres or bottle banks, then it would feel a little bit more on brand. But I'm not going to sit here and complain about this game. The idea is phenomenal, and there's a damn good reason why this is one of 2026's most anticipated releases. The bad news is, right now, it's an absolute ghost town, with nothing but a few geese, a few rabbits, and an eerily abandoned treehouse and vast amounts of empty land. There's not an awful lot to keep players gripped, especially in single player mode. Players like myself are finding it difficult to balance the resources needed to just keep the camper van moving. On numerous occasions, I found myself stranded in the middle of a road with no power. To recharge the battery, you again need a surplus of logs, but with that particular material being used a lot, it runs out incredibly quickly, and it must just be my luck, but when I go out in search of wood, there's none immediately around me. Dotted around the world are these seemingly abandoned campsites, and each one has a lockbox which you can open for a mystery haul of materials. While I like this idea, I don't like relying on these, as it just highlights the imbalance of resources around the park, and with no NPCs around, it just feels like theft. But enough of the negativity. We have good news. At time of recording this video, Squareglade Games have dropped their roadmap for massive quality of life updates, which I'm sure will turn this game around. Although, hot take, video games that are not marked as early access shouldn't have extensive roadmaps like this. These are all things that should have been addressed during playtesting and development, before people were expected to hand over their hard-earned money for an incomplete game. That being said, it's better late than never. Ongoing improvements do include the aforementioned material spawns, a download voucher wallet, which is a brilliant addition if you're like me and you've walked a mile to the nearest signal tower and then left your vouchers at the van. And we've been promised some UI improvements as well, which I'm hoping extends to all systems. Currently, this game feels like a PC game with consoles being an afterthought. The UI isn't necessarily necessarily bad, if not just unintuitive. One of the items you can craft is a pair of homing boots. So if you're miles away from your camp and you're walking slow because you're carrying 15 logs, you can teleport back instantly. A great idea until you've spent 20 minutes flicking through the menu on Xbox looking for the button. Can somebody help me please? If you know, please tell me the button in the comments of this video. The online posts I've seen about this seem to be written in riddles and I still haven't worked it out. For a game about a camper van, I've done so much walking. In the summer, we're going to be treated to some protein, I assume. A fishing mechanic will be added with collectible fish and decorative fish. I just hope that this also means edible fish, because my character has survived on nothing but raw ginger, raw mushrooms and jam that I made from the food processor in the camper van. And surprise, surprise, he's always hungry. In the autumn, we'll be getting some upgrades to the wildlife, with more birds and the tease of bigger animals like deer. Unlike the fishing, I don't expect these to be food. As the theme of Outbound is centered around nature and wildlife, it would seem a little bit grim to add a hunting mechanic as well. If you want a game like that, play Red Dead Online. It's brilliant. Then finally, in the wintertime, we're going to be getting a long-awaited addition of NPCs. Personally, I think that NPCs should be the priority of the developers, and I'm very hopeful that because this is the furthest away on the roadmap, that real care and attention will be put into bringing these characters into the world, with the promise of dialogues, helping people with tasks and adding in some lore, so we actually get to know what the hell happened in that treehouse. Things are looking very, very positive for the future of Outbound. But let's be realistic here. The irony is not wasted on me that for a cozy game about the beauty and wonder of exploring nature, we'll have to wait until Christmas time to bring a bit of life into this game. Let's just hope that we haven't all moved on by then.